Hello, my name is Cynthia and welcome to my Flosstube channel. If you love beautiful needlework, you like to talk about it, you like to see examples of it, and most importantly, if you hope to be inspired to create your own beautiful projects, you're in the right place. Welcome to my channel, Stitching in the Light. Today is Tuesday, November 3rd. It's Election Day 2020. I took care of my voting this morning about 7 o'clock. I hope that you have as well. It may be Wednesday before you see this, so hopefully our country here in the U.S. is doing okay. I'll be praying. I wanted to come in on Saturday, but our Great Pumpkin Sale came to a finish and we had the filming of our prize raffle, and so many generous donators helped with that, and it was such a great success. It took me all day to get in contact with everyone, probably 30-60 emails at different times, and then we did trick-or-treating, so I didn't have a chance, but I'm happy to be here today with you. I had a pile of Halloween finishes that I was going to put away. I had hoped to have them done a little bit sooner, but that's the way it goes sometimes, so I thought I'd go ahead and show them before I forget, and then I will store them away till next year. I had a couple of embroidery pieces and a gift from my mom that I had turned into a little pillow to match. So I wanted to share these at first. These came out so cute. They're by Hudson Holidays. I'm not sure what her actual Etsy shop is called. I'll link it down below. But she does beautiful embroidery work. She's been in that magazine. Oh, I love it so much. Somerset Crafts. She's been on the cover of one of the Christmas ones, and she shows that on her site, so you can look and see all the cool designs. But these look so vintage. This was my pumpkin piece. It says Boo there on the side, and I just put some checked fabric and some handmade felt on the back. And then I always like a bell, you know, I always do that. So these three all kind of jingle, and you can see them on my Etsy or on my Instagram as well, if you want to see them together in their display. They had some kind of creepy eyeballs that I got from Dollar Tree in the little trough that I put them in, and they looked so cute. And then my mom sent me a tea towel, and it was really cute, but with 4 kids, I am just almost afraid of a white linen towel in the guest bath. So I took that white linen towel that had this embroidery, probably done by a machine, but super cute. Look at that witch with the brooms. And I don't know if she got it from a garage sale or where she picked it up. You'll have to comment down below, Mom, if you can figure it out, or just text me. But she sent that, and so I used part of it to make a little pin pillow that matched these guys. And I cut it a little bit close, and so I put some fabric on the bottom. Sometimes when I do these pillows, I feel like the text kind of gets buried underneath, and so I wanted it to show how it says Happy Halloween, and it's kind of a coordinating set now. So those were a lot of fun. And on the back, I had some sparkly felt that I never knew what I was going to do with anything with it, and I thought, well, this is my time to use it for Halloween. That's perfect. And I kind of just freehanded a spider and some white chalk on the back, and then cut it out and glued it on with some Aleene's. This morning I actually whipped that up in just a little bit, maybe 15-20 minutes. So it was super fun. It's stuffed with sawdust, as are these. So they're kind of flat, but they stand up really, really nice. I've said this before, but sawdust almost reminds me of like a foam. I don't know how it works, but it makes it so easy to use. The other one I've showed you a couple times now, but here it is, and it's home, and it's kind of shifted on me, I'm afraid. I'll fiddle with it just a little bit more, but here's Matilda in her frame. And I thought this one resembled the cover of the pattern. I showed it last time, but I didn't use polka dots on it. So it'll hang in my hallway with my other fall pieces, including this one. I showed you the very beginning of this last time, and I was able to get it finished. This is Halloween Medley. I got this frame, and I'll insert some pictures here of me finishing it. I got this at the Goodwill. It used to have a scripture in it that was kind of 80s. It was just a little paper print, nothing too special. And it was way too tall. When I actually got the finished needlework out, I thought, oh no, it's not going to work. But I had this little haunted house from Joann's put up and decided to make that part of the piece. So it just kind of sat on top of the checks, and I used my homemade kind of murky fabric that I dyed. I have a lot of people asking me how I made this fabric, and I've said before, I can't repeat very often my fabric dyeing process because I fiddle with it so much. I start out thinking, okay, I've got it very, you know, what's the word, in a recipe, and then I don't. So this is definitely Rit Black and Rit Tan, and I'm pretty sure that must be what Picture This Plus uses because it's a very similar result. I have some from Picture This Plus. And on this little stone or haunted castle at the top, haunted house, I had originally had it painted copper. I couldn't find the right color. When I did the black, you couldn't see it at all. When I did the copper, it was a little bit better, but it doesn't photograph very well. I'm getting good light right now, so you can really tell. But I took some chalk from a chalk marker. If you've seen those, they sell them at Hobby Lobby. I have a big, wide, fat one. And the chalk is almost kind of, you know, translucent a little bit. It's not like a white paint. It, I thought, made it look kind of spooky, you know, like it had webs on it or was kind of covered in clouds or smoke. So that was my final way to make it stand out. I also put some on the frame, just some kind of spooky looking chalk. I have wax underneath the chalk. When you wax the frame, it kind of seals it in, so whatever you put on top, you can almost wipe away a lot easier, as opposed to if this was like a matte finish or like a open rough wood, it would absorb all the, you know, if I do a dry brush of a metallic or a chalk in this case, it wouldn't have blended out almost like a glaze. So I hope that makes sense. I've done a lot of furniture painting over the last couple decades, so I included, I'm going to include a little video here of what the wax I use looks like, how I apply it. It's super simple, but every time I mention waxing some of the wood in my pieces, my son's getting loud and sister's shushing him. Every time I mention that wax, I have two questions, one question. I've probably had 4 or 5 altogether, maybe more. So I thought, well, let me show. I don't think people are as familiar with wax. It basically hardens like a polyurethane, but it's much less heavy. A polyurethane sometimes will yellow and crack even, and wax does not do that. It also can be kind of a matte finish. It's not this time you can polish it so that it has some shine, but it just makes things look more finished, and I think a lot of times more kind of folk arty. So that is my last finish I wanted to share with you. Oh, I did have some, not stitchy kindness, but crochet kindness. My friend Ginger made about 30 of these for all the kids at our church, and I just thought it was so sweet. She always is so giving and kind, and I thought if you are good at crocheting and you needed a little gift, that was such a cute one. I don't have a pattern for it, and I don't know how she did it, but I know Lori Mischief Stitches has done a similar basket, and she filled it with candy. So I just wanted to share that because some of y'all might want to do that for your kids or grandkids. That was just a really sweet gesture. I have another one, but I've got it put up. And let me show you the whips I have. I didn't work on as many whips this time because I finished those little pieces, and then I've been kind of tired out with the fundraiser. I feel like I was just kind of, on Saturday especially, I was just kind of not having a lot of stitchy motivation, but for example, this should have been done. This someone else was showing this recently. Christy says it Boo-Baa-Bie. I always thought it was Boo-Baa-Bie, like sheep go ba or sheep go ba. I guess it's tomato. It doesn't matter, but it's so cute. And I was working on these flowers. I think that's kind of what stalled me out, because I was probably making it more difficult than I needed to. I found this wool at Hobby Lobby that was clearanced out. I think it was only like $2 a yard or something, $2.50 for a half yard piece. It was a huge piece. And so I'm trying to mimic that with the threads that I'm using. Victorian Motto and a DMC that's a little bit lighter. And I'm doing that popcorn variegation just like I did with the grass and with the sheep. I explained that more in my last video. So it's gonna turn out really cute, but it's taking me a little bit longer, and I just got a little bit tired, like I said. And I really wanted to have one more start for the Great Pumpkin Sale, and so I pulled out Feast of Friendship. I had gone back and forth whether I needed to start this right now, but I've had this pattern for a really long time, and I really like it. It's such a pretty fall color, and I feel like it goes into Thanksgiving very well because it has that fruit cornucopia. And against my usual pattern, I started on the right side. I almost always start bottom left, but I really wanted to do the house. In fact, I may just do the house this season and then do the fruit next. So we'll see. It is a lot of house, but it's not too bad. This dyed thread at the bottom was one of my creations. And I wrote up, excuse me, I wrote up a story on Instagram if you want to check out how I named these flosses that were gifts from friends. It really was appropriate for this Feast of Friendship piece. Actually, one was a gift from my Aunt Ruth. I showed the process of dyeing this color, which started out in that bright, my floss is always a mess, in that bright red, about the color of this quilt behind me. And I dyed it to this. I show that at the very end of video 21 if you want to see that process. But this was perfect, I thought, for those windows. It's a sub for mulberry, and I love the way that that floss at the bottom is looking. I think I did it last summer, so maybe even the summer before. I dipped it in denim and charcoal, and so it does kind of look like blue jeans, which is another thing Christy and I share the opinion of. Looks like blue jeans. And then the checkerboard at the top, I am using the called for ginger snap and pumpkin pie with a Victorian Motto. I think it's called Old Brass. And some DMC on the side, acorns. I think mine look a little bit more like acorns than the front of the pattern. But the dye lots change a lot, so there is that one. And I hope to, like I said, finish that house this week. We'll see how that goes, but I have a 24-hour of cross stitch event coming up this weekend with Jen Lee, and my daughter's going to be playing south of Dallas in a tournament, and I'll be here with the littles for the weekend. And so I think I'm going to participate in that 24-hour event and try to get my shepherd sampler and possibly my All Creatures Great and Small by Barbara Anna worked on a lot. So that is coming up. The other thing I wanted to show you are some previous finishes real quick. We've all been kind of jumping on the bandwagon. I know I have been there for a couple years, but people are joining me with Olivia making some really pretty pumpkins, and I saw Tina had done some on Love of the Stitches as well, and Christy. So here's some more Chestnut Junction patterns, or some Denise's Prims. I can't remember who does this one, but this guy is so cute. If you want to pull this off of Etsy and get some things made before Christmas, this is a fun one. My kids really like this one. It's got like a wool. I just used the cheap wool from Hobby Lobby, and it got a little bit dribbly, but it was just stitched around in a blanket stitch. And then he has these painted muslin arms and little feet and pearl button eyes and a scarf. So he looks really cute on a tier tray with some of these candy canes. Now I'm pretty sure this was Prims by Denise, my favorite Etsy artist as far as these Prims go. And I loved these for sticking in a wreath. I had it over my mantle last year. And you can also check out my Christmas tour last year if you're looking for inspiration. I don't know if I'm going to film another. I'll probably do a lot of the same vignettes and things, so I don't know how much I'll invest in that, but you're welcome to check that out if you want to see how some of these things were arranged. I think this looks really cute with like a hot cocoa bar, or just as some gifts for little kids in your life. So lots of fun. And then the other thing I wanted to show you was some Christmas plans. I had posted on Instagram some of these bags I've been making, and I did have a few little hiccups on the side here like I do sometimes, but they're coming together so much easier than they used to. It's the whole adage of, you know, practice makes, not perfect, but better for me. I feel much more comfortable making them now, and they're not, I don't want to spend a lot of time making bags. I'm in that dilemma of just, you know, I like to have something cute to put my projects in, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of money, and I don't want to spend a lot of time. So these don't have any zippers, which I have never even sewn before. They just have Velcro. And this fabric from Hobby Lobby was so cute. I thought it has like a Christmas on the Farm, I think it's called. And I bought it this year, so it's still there last I saw. And I love that vintage Santa and the deer. I really like the way this turned out. This red polka dot I got on a D-Stash page from a quilter. So it was just some scraps. I think I had like a fat quarter of it. And I initially put this on backwards, so I had to go ahead and piece this together. It's usually just one piece of fabric that you fold over the way Vonna shows, but I had to kind of use my head and put this piecing together so that I had Santa not upside down. And I'm glad I did. And this is some silk from my Sari silk that I order on Etsy, and I dyed this to match a little bit. It's hard to get red. I had to soak it overnight. And the first time it came out, it was pure pink. So Scarlet Rit dye has a lot of pink in it. It's not as almost like a, I like more of a wine red, but the wine red is like this shirt, like purpley. So anyway, it worked out. And what I have in here, I did want to show real quick. I have some whips from last year. I'm going to be working on Christmas medley. This is my fourth one. I'm going to change this angel at the bottom. That wasn't my favorite. I'm going to change that into a gingerbread man. And I got a candy cane button from, I think 1-2-3 Stitch to put on there. I had started this last year and just kind of fiddled with it to see how it looked and then put it up. So, and I'm using a scrap of a sampler that I gave up on. So here's the border. I'm changing it from solid green to just every other stitch is red and white. I do a lot of candy kind of themed things in my kitchen, so a lot of candy cane and gingerbread and elves. That's kind of the direction I go because my kids like that. So that is one I'll be pulling out soon. And the other one, let me see if I have another one. Oh, I have a Lizzie Kate Mary string. I know Priscilla had done that, was my inspiration. It's just a cute little, I think it's only like 20 stitches high. It probably shouldn't be too bad. So there's what's in there. I also have a coordinating bag to this that I've kind of made in a real scrappy way. I just put strips of the fabrics that I'd gotten on that D-Stash, along with some homespun that you can find, you know, Walmart, just about anywhere. And that was another D-Stashed fabric with the Merry Christmas from the Hobby Lobby fabric. I didn't want to waste any of it. I thought it was so pretty, so I just used a scrap. And then more hand-dyed sari and some of that twill that has the sewing measure tape printed on. What I have in here, oh, this is one of the ones I was excited to show you. I have dyed red fabric before. As I said, red is a little tricky because it either goes pink or it goes purple. But I was pretty happy with how this turned out. It's more of the darker red. You can see I have red all around me. Red is one of my favorite colors. So it's more of the red that I wanted. And this is just some 32 count linen from Hobby Lobby, the Zweigart. I did serge the edges, or zigzag the edges. And what I'm going to put on here, you can see I got a little bit of modeling. One side doesn't have any. But what I'm going to put on here is a sal that I wanted to join with Lori and Barbara from, or Barbara's daughter, Kim, sorry Kim, from the Plum Street 12 Days of Christmas freebie that she has on her blog. I've linked this before. If you need it, let me know. I can link it. But my intention with it, and I actually have pulled some threads, but then I went ahead and ordered some different ones because it wasn't quite what I wanted. I can't find the right gold that I'm looking for. These just aren't quite right. I ended up getting Whiskey by Week Styleworks because I've used that one before. And then I got a silk from Dinky Dyes for the white because this one was just a little too dark. And then Carriage Black. What I did was, and I hope that she would be flattered and not offended, but I took this fabric from this inspiration. I'd always wanted to do these hands-on design ones, but the Paulette Stewart ones are super cute too. So I thought, well, why don't I take kind of a combination of Paulette's design and use the same kind of thread inspiration from Kathy, and we'll see how it goes. So I have some of those threads and a couple others that I picked myself coming in the mail from Anita's Little Stitches. I'll show you that next time. And I'm going to start that with Kim and Lori. So I'm really excited to try that. I'll try to share more of my conversion as I go if anybody else is interested in a kind of fun conversion from a free pattern. Those are always nice. Oh, and then I also, I'm trying to stitch my seasonal pieces more, what's the word, intentionally, I guess, because I do want to still work on samplers, and I've kind of fought back and forth. I think a lot of us do, you know, seasonal stitching and all the time out stitching. I have specific spots in my home where I have like a cart puller like this guy here in my Boo-Baa-Bie. I have a sheet puller in the front entryway, and I'm going to rotate that out. And then I have a turquoise shutter I've showed you before in my kitchen. I'm going to rotate that out. And other than that, I want to kind of slow down on the seasonal stitching. So that's my intention. We'll see how it goes. But I did think that this would be a cute piece for my entryway where I have kind of those, well, let me show you the fabric I have. I bought this a while ago. It's a Witchelt. It's really, really stiff. Not my favorite, but that color I love. And so I think it's called Sea Lily. Yeah, Sea Lily. I am going to use for this Barbara Anna design. I think it's the Dove and the Key, Santa the Dove and the Key. It's so pretty. You've probably seen it before, but I thought it would be really fun. Priscilla does this a lot. She'll do like an aqua or a tea-dyed aqua for a Christmas design. And so here's some of the called for colors, kind of those terracottas, and they're not all here. I have to order some more, but I think that's going to be really pretty. That cider mill brown, and then it has the white kind of house on there on this fabric. So I can't wait to see how that turns out. It's not a very big stitch. That's my other intention. I have Christmas garden going. If I get enough of that done, I may start Stacy Nash Hollyberry Christmas that I wanted to start. I have all of the fabric and most of the threads, but I'm just going to hold off and see how it goes. I don't want to commit and then feel like a little bit overwhelmed, so we'll see. But I do want to do these smaller pieces that have a home all ready to go. Oh, and that's the other thing. I found this, it's probably going to blind you, but this silver tray at, you can see my TV, at the Goodwill, and I think that would be really pretty to put the Santa piece on, and I might chalk paint it white, or I might leave it silver. I don't know. We'll see. It's not real silver. It's just, you know, a shiny aluminum, but it's in good shape, not rusty or dirty. So that is coming up soon. My plans to do that. The other thing I have, I told you I had that turquoise shutter that I'd be stitching for. I wanted to do another Priscilla Farm there, like I have my Sunflower Manor, and I just realized I have too many whips to take that on. It's just too big. So instead of using just a Dollar Tree sign like I've done in the past, I'm actually going to use this tea-dyed linen towel that it's not tea-dyed, it's walnut shell-dyed. My mom gave me the other half of, or that I use the other half of. This is that towel. I just cut it in half. Sorry, Mom, I hope that's okay. And use this for Santa to be embroidered on, and I'll finish it sort of like Priscilla does with it. I don't want to show you the whole pattern. I'm not supposed to, I don't think, but he has a bunch of leaves around him, and he'll be about an 8x10 size. And what I want to do is mount him on sticky board, put another fabric behind him, and then put a pretty bow on top. So he'll be kind of a prim, Priscilla-fied finish there, instead of just having it blank like I've had, and instead of trying to take on a whip of Holly Jolly Farm. I have too many things going. A couple more charts I want to share. I think I've shared them before, but it's been a while, and a lot of them are free. So I always like to share free things because you might as well, if you like them and they're out there. A lot of them are super quick, like this one. This is my pineberry. I've decided I want to have a pineberry displayed at all times because I like them so much, and they're pretty quick. So I'm going to put that on the red gate that I have for my, what was that 4th of July lady called? I think she was, oh, it's not Hip Hip Hooray, is it? Anyway, I'm going to use that same red gate and make this a little bit bigger, probably surround it with some checked fabric, and it'll be really cute. And then this one from Melissa at Pinker and Pumpkin. Sorry, it's hard to hear if I'm saying that wrong, but this is a lady I've linked probably 3 or 4 times now. She is just so generous and kind. She makes an entire farm series, and they're only about 30 stitches high. If you want to check her blog out, I'll link it below. But this one is a little bit bigger, and I thought it would look really cute with my elves and kind of my vintage Santa stuff. So I want to try those 2 Santas, as well as a prairie schooler that I got a couple years ago. So I might try one of these. I don't like that green fur. I know a lot of people do it the classic way, but I'll change that to white. I also stitched my prairie schooler Santas with Manor Red, and let me show you those. I'm just kind of going through the order of my box, so sorry if this is kind of disjointed, but I wanted to show you these ornaments that I'm going to be finishing in case you're interested, because Hobby Lobby stuff, it's kind of irritating. You have to buy stuff sometimes in October or it's just gone. So I was looking everywhere for something to finish my prairie schooler ornaments on. I wanted a round coaster. I think I had seen, was it Cindy at Cindy's Cross Stitch use that? Or maybe someone on Instagram. They just took a round paper coaster and laced their stitching around that, but I just couldn't find that. And so this was about the right size. Or a tart pan, a little tiny tart pan. Those were kind of expensive though. All the ones I could find were like $5 or $6 a piece, and these are on half price, so they were $2.50. And that's a really cute ornament as it is. I don't do a lot of the truck stuff, but I intend to put some batting and this little guy in there. And I think it'll look so cute on my little farmhouse tree. So I have that one, and I'll show you that Santa, how I'm going to finish the other ones. And the dove, that was where I kind of did my fake hack with my overdyed. I accidentally picked up the wrong thread, and I'd done quite a bit at the dentist office. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. So I kept going with it. So that's my 3865, 3866 trick, serendipitously discovered. And there's a little puppy dog. I've shown these before, but it's probably been about 6 months. So I decided I was going to do 1 a month starting in January. That lasted till April, but that's okay. I have 4 here, and they're going to be really sweet. And there's that Santa. I love the way he turned out. He has some really badly done French knots. No hashtag there, Jenny. And then all my own colors. I don't think I used anything that she had chosen. It's got like ecru and the Manor Red. So there's that one, and my sister-in-law doesn't watch these, so I'm going to show this one too. I had found this tag. This is a really cool size too, if you're looking. And you can use this one where the back has a text on it, and you can use the inset of it for a sewn piece. This is a rescue. My sister-in-law had started this back in the late 80s, early 90s probably. And she's a really good stitcher. I hate that she quit, but she's just so busy. And she had like Santas from around the world or something. They were like fisherman Santa and different, I don't know what the pattern was. She didn't have the pattern on there, but there's some Krynic in there. And so I just cut off the one that she had only done a few pieces on and intended to make this as an ornament last year, but I'm finally getting around to it. So I'll try to film that. It's probably pretty similar to how Elizabeth Ann does on, or Liz on Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, how she does hers, but I might try to film some of that, and that'll give me 5 ornaments. One is a gift and one for me. So I'm excited about all those plans. I don't want to commit per se to any of them because inevitably if I say I'm going to do this, then I don't. So I just wanted to show you some of those though, in case you were looking for some Christmas inspiration, and some of those pieces at Hobby Lobby do not last, as well as getting started on some of those fun muslin pieces. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you are done voting and are at in prayer with me for our country as we move forward. And I hope that you are enjoying your stitching. As I finish all of my videos, Psalm 90 verse 17 says, "May the favor of the Lord our God be upon us and establish the work of our hands." Thanks for watching.